welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic in another stellar week for the Sudoku world. In fact, I must mention, because it's been going gangbusters overnight, yesterday's puzzle, the incredibly witty Wrogn Fogn by James Sinclair. This is a mixture of Fog of War and the Wrogn constraint, and it's just absolutely brilliant. You really must have a go at it if you haven't had if you're not aware of it yet. Go and check it out. You won't regret it. Now, what are we doing in today's video? We're going to be tackling a new hybrid puzzle called Heyawake Sudoku by rockratzero. Rocratzero's puzzles are always an absolute joy, and I have to confess I have a real soft spot for this one. Heyawake was one of my very favourite types of logic puzzle in the old days when the Nickely website functioned, and the great and the good of the puzzle solving world would compete every day to solve the fantastic handcrafted logic problems on that platform as fast as they could. Now, I wasn't bad at Heyawake. Always held up slightly by the fact I always used to like to unshade the cells, whereas people like Hideaki Joe would just do it visually. Anyway, that's by the by. When I heard that there was a Heyawake themed hybrid Sudoku, I really wanted to have a go at this. It's got some wonderful comments. It's been recommended to us, and this is what we're going to have a crack at in a moment or two's time. What do I have to tell you about? Let me have a look. Let me have a look at my list. I've done Wrogn Fogn, the greatest hashtag in Sudoku history. There's an anniversary I want to announce today, actually. It's Angelica and Aaron's wedding anniversary. So many congratulations to the two of you. Aaron wrote to me and said you'd appreciate a shout out, Angelica. I think this is it's frankly worth celebrating with cake, isn't it? I think so. So I hope you have a day full of cake and champagne. Now, there's another birthday I have to announce today, a very special birthday, 25th birthday to Bataku. Bataku, whose puzzle I did the other day. In fact, I got it up on screen ready to show you. So here we go. 9 hours, 9 pins, 9 doors. I think we called the video something like a puzzle with only 10 given digits. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Very short rules set. Wonderful puzzle. Definitely worth having a go at. I'm sure Bataku would appreciate that on his birthday. And the reason I know it's his birthday is I had an email from the family of Bataku who said that he'd appreciate the shout out. So many happy returns to one of the greatest constructors in the world of Sudoku, a doyen of the Discord server. We hope you have a great day. Oh, and the other announcement I'll do today is more personal. My sister Hannah is in hospital at the moment. I don't know how many Cracking the Cryptic videos she will be able to abide. I'm sure seeing her brother in videos is somewhat perturbing. But anyway, Hannah, I hope that you are on the mend and getting well, and you'll be out soon. Anything else to mention? I don't think so. I think probably at the weekend we're going to do the winners of the Demono hunt. We did have an email from Demono yesterday revealing some of his favourites, so I think we're nearly there on that one, and we might give a bonus prize as well, so there might be 2 prizes this month. But anyway, more on that to come. Let me read you the rules of Heyawake Sudoku by rockratzero, and this is what we're going to have to do today. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Shade some cells in the grid. Shaded cells cannot share an edge. With each other. The unshaded cells must form a single orthogonally connected area. The digits contained in each circle indicates how many cells must be shaded in that 3x3 box. So we've got 9 circles, 1 in each 3x3 box, and so if we put a 3 in there, that would indicate that this box has 3 shaded cells in. And remember, when we put the shaded cells in, they can't be next to each other, so we'd have to make sure they're separated. Let me get rid of that. There's a wasp flown in. It's that time of year. Anyway, now this is right. The next rule is the most complicated part of the Heyawake rule set. It sounds weird, but once you get used to it, it's not that weird. But anyway, a contiguous line, well, that is, go away. A contiguous line, vertical or horizontal, of unshaded cells cannot span two 3x3 region borders. What does that mean? That means that it's not possible for those 5 cells which are in a horizontal line to all be unshaded in this puzzle. And that's because we span two 3x3 region borders, this one and this one, in a contiguous sequence. So that is not allowed. Neither would that be allowed. Neither would this be allowed. So it's fairly straightforward, really. But that's what that rule means. Let's restart the puzzle. How do I restart the puzzle so that my clock goes back? Oh, there is another wasp in here as well. Oh, good grief! That's going to distract me. If it starts to buzz near my head, I will have to pause the video. Anyway, the digits in a cage may not repeat and must sum to the value given in the top left corner of the cage. So we've got a load of cages in the grid. Shaded cells do not contribute to the total. Right, so in this box, if we did shade those cells, we'd have to make the other 6 cells sum to 11. Now there's obviously going to be a problem with that, because the triangular number of 6 is 21, and that's somewhat greater than 11. But that's how the rules work. So basically, we're going to be able to, or we're going to have to ensure that the cages sum to the right total. So this might sum to 17 if all 4 of these were unshaded, or it might be that, let's shade that one in, then it would be saying those 3 cells sum to 17. It's very clever. It's a very nice hybrid idea. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I am tempted actually to look at that 11 cage, which as I was doing the example made me think. But I can see perhaps slightly lower hanging fruit. Fruit? What's a fruit? Is that a Groot mixed with a fruit? I don't know. But anyway, this 24 cage, that must be 7, 8, 9, because that's the biggest we could make 3 digits in the same cage add up to. And those must all be unshaded. Gosh, that is a particular... Oh, it's flown out. It's flown out. That's great. Now, if we got anything else... Yeah, okay, there's a 20 cage as well. Well, even if I made 2 of these cells unshaded and 1 shaded, the 2 unshaded cells could only be 9 and 8. 9 and 8 add up to 17, and 17 is less than 20. Well, that's just an absolute sprinkling of knowledge bombs today. So those 3 have all got to be green. There's 2, 3 cages up there as well, which obviously these 2 cages have got to have an awful lot of shadage in them, because, well, in fact, this one has got to have exactly 2 shaded cells in it, I'm going to say. And that's because, obviously, it can't have 3 unshaded cells in it, because the minimum those cells would add up to would be 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is 6. So there's got to be at least 2 shaded cells in there. But remember, the shaded cells can't connect across an edge. So the maximum, if we try and put 3 shaded cells in there, we can't do it. Inevitably, we'll get 2 edge connections of shaded cells. So there are exactly 2 unshaded cells in here. And therefore, there is a 1-2 pair in here, I suppose. I don't know where that is. It's going insectastic today. Now, what about this one? Can we do something similar with this one? Is there a rule that says the circles have to be unshaded? Hang on. No, I don't think there is actually. Okay, so we don't know whether this cell is itself shaded or unshaded. We could have You could, though, have a 3 in there and all those being shaded. Although, no, that doesn't work. Right, that's interesting, actually. That is interesting. So I think 2 of these are shaded as well. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is, if we did try and put a solitary 3 into this cage as an unshaded cell, that would mean there were 3 shaded cells in there, and given they can't connect, the only arrangement I think we could do of those 3 shaded cells would be this arrangement, and that means this is unshaded and it has to get out, which means this is unshaded, but this being shaded means that's unshaded, and now I can't put 2 shaded cells in this other 3 region, so this is wrong. It's wrong, but I'm not sure how helpful it is that it's wrong. I've had another thought as well. Perhaps I should have been filling in the circled values, because they can't be that big. But this circle, well, so now we know that there are 2 shaded cells in this region as well, because there can't be 3 unshaded. They would add up to at least 6. There can't be 3 shaded, because that would break this cage. So there must be 2 shaded, 2 unshaded. So this cage has a 1 and a 2 in it. And this cannot be shaded now, because if it's shaded, it will touch the other shaded cell in there in one of those positions. So that is unshaded and is a 1 or a 2. And, okay. Oh, I'm close to understanding this. Hang on, these two, we hadn't established these were green, had we? That was my green as a result of making those 3 shaded. So if that's shaded, yeah, that doesn't work. If that's shaded, we run into a 1-2 problem, I think. This is lovely, isn't it? I really like the way this is working. If this is shaded, these 2 become unshaded. But this one we know is a 1 or a 2. Oh, hang on. Hang on, does this work then? Now, hang on. Now, maybe I'm wrong about what I was about to say. Those 2 could be the same digit, could they? That could be unshaded. That could be shaded. These would both be shaded. Oh, bobbins. Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought I was going to be able to prove that this was not possible, but I can't. What about if that's shaded? And we're going to end up with a sort of Heyawake 3 type structure, aren't we? We're going to end up with a triple like that. If that is green, then that has to be green and must be the same digit, because obviously this digit cannot repeat there, so it would have to repeat here. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm going to come back to my first thoughts, which were around this 11 cage. Oh, or am I? Hang on, I'm flitting around. I'm sorry, it's because I've got insects around me. Okay. Yes, all right, this is where I should have started here, and now understand this. Okay, let's think about this cage from a Heyawake perspective. So, what's the most number of shaded cells I could put into a 3x3 box? Well, given they can't touch each other, the absolute maximum would be a sort of a dice 5 shape, wouldn't it? Now, that's interesting, because in order to get to a count of 11, I must have 4 unshaded cells in this box. I must actually have 5 shaded cells. So in fact, this box is just given at the start. It must be a dice 5 of shaded and a speckling of unshaded cells. But this Heyawake, it's a Heyawake 5 clue. And for some of you, that will make you smile, because a Heyawake 5 clue is about as useful a clue as you can get in Heyawake, because now, of course, you can never have a shaded cell next to another shaded cell, and all of these 4 cells all have to connect to their friends, because there's one single green region in this puzzle. So we get an enormous amount of real estate all of a sudden greenified. We have a very much a green belt, look, around our urban sprawl of five in the middle. Now, remember what we said about this cage. We said it had 2 grey cells in it, so we now know, given they can't connect, they must be there. So these 2 cells are now both green, and they are a 1-2 pair. So this is going to be useful, I think. Probably. This cell, yeah, look, that being shaded makes that unshaded. So we now do have what we had before, but I couldn't quite prove it. Now those 2 must be shaded, because we don't want this cage to add up to more than 3. This now is the 2, because that's the 2 shaded cells in this 3x3 region. So this is 2, this is 2, this is 1, this is 1 by sudoku. All of those turn green using the power of this 2. That turns green by the power of not being next to another shaded cell. These 2 have to be green. Now, well, that's going to be... What's going on with this number now? It's got to be bigger, but it can't be that much bigger, can it? How many? I can't. Right. This is very interesting. In fact, are we about to have a party? I think we might be about to have a party. The reason I say that is that this circle cannot contain a 2, because there's already a 2 in the box. So it's at least 3. Now, could we put 4 shaded cells in that 3x3 region? No, because to do so, I'd have to do that, and this green is isolated. And that means this is a 3, and when I put it in... No, oh, I thought it wasn't going to work. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Particularly... tuneless version. Apologies for that. I must be getting a cold. Right, now is this green then? If it's green, that's a 6, and that would have to be green. So these 2 would be green, and that would be grey. But if that's grey, that would be green, and it would be a 9. I'm not sure we know. I'm not sure. I suspect there is a way that we can tell which way round this goes. But at first blush, I'm not sure I know what that way is. 3, 4, 5 is 12. Okay, so 4, 5, no, I thought maybe I could at least force a digit into the 16 cage, but no. Oh, I know something, of course. Oh, gosh, I should fill in this, shouldn't I? That's a 5. Right, so these are a 1, 2, 3 triple in order to give us our total of 11. Gosh, talk about rejecting low-hanging fruit or groot or whatever it was I said before. Now, okay, what does all this mean? Well, actually, I tell you what I'm going to do now. I am going to go around these circles and fill them in with their maximum values. Now, this is interesting, because this box you can't put the 5 shape into. And that's because, of course, these 2 cells would be unable to orthogonally connect with the rest of the greenliness in the world. So, I think the maximum you can put in a side like this is a 4 clue. So that has to be a 3 or a 4. Now, have we got some secretage going on? No, I don't think so. Maybe not yet. So I was just thinking about the secret in the context of this 3x3 box, because there is a secret I sometimes tell my favourite people. And of course, if you're still watching this video, you're definitely in that coterie. The secret is that a complete 3x3 box of a Sudoku contains digits that sum to 45 because it contains the digits 1 to 9 once each. So, if all of those cells sum to 45, but we have to eliminate cells such that we only get 32's worth of digits left, and we're eliminating 3 or 4 cells, those 3 or 4 cells that get shaded have to contain digits that sum to 13. Now, if 4 digits sum to 13, they must include a 1. So we'd have this pattern of shaded. There'll be a 1 in one of those by sudoku. They don't have to include a 2. They could do, in which case there'd be a 1-2 pair here, which would be cool. But that could be a 3 as well. So, all right, so let's carry on with this though. Now this is an interesting cell, and that's because what's the most number of shaded cells I can now include in this region? And this is another classic Heyawake 3 clue, isn't it? It would be this, and that's the most. So this is a 1, 2, or a 3. Except it's not, is it? It's not a 1 because we've already got 2 unshaded cells in it. So oh, hang on, that's not true. Oh God, I just confused myself, and probably everyone watching. No, for some reason, I then in my mind, because I've seen puzzles that do this with circles before, I thought this was counting the number of cells in there that were contributing to the total. It's not. We're looking at the 3x3 box overall. So if this was a 1, we'd be saying that 1 cell there was shaded, and that's totally possible. Sorry. Okay, that's me being totally inept. What about this one then? How many could that be? That could be a no. This is a maximum of 2. Because we can't, well, 2 reasons. It can't be a 3 by sudoku. Also, a Heyawake 3 would look like that and isolate this cell. So this is a 1 or a 2. This square, oh, this is a naked single. That's beautiful. I keep looking in the wrong places. But look, this can't be more than 3 because we can't put more than 3 shaded cells in here. And it can't be less than 3 because it sees 1 and 2. So that is a 3, which means that we now know the configuration. When you see this pattern in a box of this shape in Heyawake world, you know it's either that way up or this way up. But this way up, of course, isolates this cell because this is a border 3x3. I mean, I appreciate that if you've never done Heyawake before, some of this logic will take you longer, but I hope that you can appreciate how beautiful it is. We get all of this as green because this has to get out, this has to get out, these have to be green because they can't be grey because they connect greys to each other. So, okay, so we have a 2 cell 13 sum at the bottom there. Oh, and we get classic Heyawake trickery. Yes, we do. Okay, because look at this now. This little congregation of cells. Now, there is, I can say for certain, I don't know how it works, but there is a wall. There is a wall. So if we think about this green cell, well, I think what I'm going to tell you now is that that cell is not grey. That's what I'm going to tell you. Now, if you can't see why, pause the video and have a look at it. For those of you who managed to figure that out, real congratulations, because that's not an easy deduction unless you're quite familiar with Heyawake rules. So the thing I'm noticing is it's not possible for both of those cells to be green, because that's going to break this rule about a contiguous sequence of greens cutting 2 3x3s in a row. So these can't both be green. Now if they can't both be green, one of them at least, well, in fact exactly one of them must be grey. They can't both be grey because that's going to pen in this area. So exactly one of these is grey and exactly one of these is green. So this green area here, it's not going to be able to get out to touch the rest of the green area through this boundary. So how does it get out? It's got to come out through this boundary, which means all 3 of those cells must be green. And that's only cutting one 3x3 box, so that's allowed. And then the Heyawake will continue round that border there. Okay. I mean, that's great, but it hasn't really helped us, has it? I still don't think we know. Do we now know what this is doing? Oh, yes, I suppose we do. Because now something's covered up in this box. So it can't be a 3-6 pair. Because we know there's a grey, because it's a 3 clue. So exactly one cell in this box adds up to 9, and it can only be this one, because this is a 3 in the corner. And therefore that turns grey, and that is green. That's really clever. Wow. Okay, so 9 is now here. 9 is, well, I was about to, no. Okay, 9 can't go, for sure 9 can't go in this cell, can it? Because that would say the whole box was full of greynesses. Now, the maximum value of this is 3, but it can't be 3, so that is a 1 or a 2. And that's in this 4 cage. What does that mean? What does that mean for this 4 cage? I don't know. I don't know. I'm also noticing that that can't be a 4-5. There must be a grey cell there, I think. Because if there was no grey, if both of these were green, they would be a minimum of 4 plus 5. And they would add up to 9, but that cell's also green, so this cage total would be too high. So there's definitely a grey cell in one of those. But could there be 2 grey cells? I think there could be. And then this would have to be a 1-3 pair. So, hang on, what's... This digit here must be green, mustn't it? Because if that's grey, I can make this green, but I can't make it 4. So that is green, and that is definitely contributing to the total. So this is a 1, 2, 3, or 4. But it can't be a 2, because that would require this to also be a 2 in order to give us 4. So this is 1, 3, or 4. If it's 1, these two can't add up to 4, so it's not 1. So this is 3 or 4 now. But it could be a 1-3 pair with both being green, or this could be a 1 or a 2 and be grey, and that be a 4, I think. That's quite complicated. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. There could well be a way, but I don't know what it is. Okay, so where do we look next? 3? No. Don't know. Where is the easy win? I've not filled in this digit. Okay, this can't be 4 anymore, because 4 would be that pattern, and this seems to have to be green. Oh yeah, and that's right, because of this pattern. So that's a maximum of 3. I guess by Sudoku there are 1s and 2s up there. Maybe that's something we should be thinking about recording. This square is at least a 4. I have a feeling it's this 4 cage. I will come back and think about it a bit harder in a moment or two, but let me just... Oh, hang on. Maybe I just perform Sudoku on these digits. Sounds like Harry... Sounds like I'm performing some Japanese ritual, doesn't it? 4, 5, and 6 by Sudoku, and that's not able to be 5. So this is a 4-6 pair. And I know at least one of them... No, I know exactly one of them is grey. Oh, can I? Is it actually possible? This square, by Sudoku, one of these squares here, if we look at this domino, or it's not a domino, it's a sort of remote domino of 1, 2, 3. That square's got to be a 1, 2, 3, and it can't be a 2 by Sudoku. So this now is a 1. These digits are from these options, because these two cells can only go in those two positions in the box. So another of these, so we've got down here, we've got one more digit that's a low digit and one more digit that's a medium digit. But the medium digit that's in one of these squares cannot contribute to the total, because one of these contributes to the total of 9. Yeah. Okay, here's a point about a 3-cell 9 cage. A 3-cell 9 cage always has to have in it 2 of the digits 1, 2, and 3. And so we can cycle through the options to realise that's true. There are, if we're adding 3 different digits to 9, we could have 6, 1, 2, that uses 1 and 2, 5, 1, 3, that uses 1 and 3, or 4, 2, 3, which uses 2 and 3. So if we were to try and make this a 3-cell cage, it wouldn't be possible for both of those digits to also be from the 1, 2, 3 triplage. So we need to grey out 2 of these, and the only way we can grey out 2 of them is like that, which means these two squares both turn green, which means this square is now 1 and that square is a 3, because we're counting both of those cells. Now this well, this square here is 4, 5, or 3 by Sudoku to add up, because we know those two cells are adding up to 9. This is now 2. So 2 is in one of those cells. Oh, this is beautiful. Look, there's a 1 here. If that 1 was here, we've made a great wall of greyliness, which is going to pen in the bottom left-hand corner of the grid. This is such a clever puzzle. It really is. What I love about it, it's integrating very, very nicely some of the classic Heyawake ideas. It really is class, this. This 13 cage hasn't got a 1 in it, and it's not got a 3 in it. So I think it must have a 2 in it, because otherwise it would be at least 4, 5, 6, and that adds up to 15. So it's got a 2 in it, and then it's got 2 cells in it. 2 more cells that add up to 11, that are not 3, 8, and they're not 2, 9. So it's either 4, 7, or 5, 6. I don't know if we can do that. 3 here means this is a 1. So this square, right, so the 3 now in this box we can see is placed, which means these two squares become a 1, 2 pair. This square here is a naked single 3. That square is not a 3. 3 is nearly placed in box 2. I've got a horrible feeling we're meant to be doing Sudoku now. It's most discombobulating. If that's a 3, that's a 6. In order to make that work. So that's a 4 and that's a 5. This 20 cage, do we know anything about that? Does it have to have 9 in it? If it didn't have 9 in it, it would be 5, 7, 8. No, okay, that doesn't work. If we try and not put 9 into this cage, it has to be 5, 7, 8. So these two digits here would be a 7, 8 pair, and they would clash with this digit. That's gorgeous. So there is a 9 in that. No 9 in the corner. These two squares add up to 11, and they are, yeah, look, they're not 2, 9, 3, 8, or 5, 6. So this is a 4, 7 pair. And remember what we said about this 13 cage. One of its options was 2, 4, 7. Well, that doesn't work anymore because neither of these digits could be 4 or 7. So this is 2, 5, 6, which means these two squares are a 2, 5 pair. This square here is a 6. This square here is an 8. These squares are not 8. So we've got lots of stuff done in this column. We've not put in 4, 6, and 8. Okay, I don't know if we can do that, but let's label it up and have a think. This digit maybe. Yeah, there's a 13 cage here. I've not given much thought to. This can't be 8 because it would clash with that. Would put a 5 here. So this is it's 4 or 6. So this is 6. That's 6. That's 7, and it's done. So neither of these are 6 at the top. We get a 4, 8 pair, and we've not put in 5, 6, and 7. So this is 6 by Sudoku, and this is a 5, 7 pair by Sudoku. And all of it, and now we can get a digit in the corner, which is an 8. Wow. Okay. That's all going remarkably well. I shouldn't have said that. That is a classic error. Right. Yeah, by Heyawake rules, look. This has become unshaded, so we need to shade that in. Otherwise we'd have two border crossings that we talked about earlier, so that becomes unshaded. Now, can we distill that down any further? Not sure. That's 7, that's 4. More Sudoku to do. 17 cage here. At the moment it's got 2 unshadeds in it, so this could almost like the look of that being an 8, 9 pair, and that would make that shaded, and this would have to get out. That would put 3 unshadeds in the 6 cage, which would have to be 1, 2, 3. That would make this a 3. This 9 cage is interesting as well. They can't both be unshaded, look. Because if they were both unshaded, 8, 1, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5 are all knocked out. So one of these, there's a 9. There's a 9 in one of these, and one of these is shaded. Ah, that's sick. Right. Okay. So this is unshaded, whatever happens, because we know one of these is shaded now. If it's this one, that's unshaded. If it's this one, if we were to shade that one as well, we've created a pyramid, and these greens are blocked in. So either way round, we cannot shade this cell. That has to be unshaded. And now this 6 cage must be a 1, 2, 3 triple, and that must be a 3. And this must be a 1, 2 pair. And oh look, here we go. Here we go. Now we've got a 4 here. How do we put 4 cells in without penning in anything up here? We've worked out 5 was impossible. The only configuration that works is that one. You might have to play around with that to prove it to yourselves. It's just a classic Heyawake trick, and it's weird that I can use it in a Sudoku puzzle, but it is the case. And then look, we're going to get green all over the place. We also have to be careful here, because we have got a wall, look, that's emerging. If we made that grey, we'd complete the wall and these greens would be isolated, so that needs to be green. Right, now we might be able to do some maths on this as well now. Oh, look. Yes, well, let's do some Sudoku first. That square's not a 1 or a 2. So we've got a 1, 2 pair up here in the corner of box 3. But because we know 4 cells are adding up to 13, we know one of those digits must be a 1, because 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is equal to 14. So we actually know the order of the 1 and the 2. These 2 squares add up to 5. So these 2 squares add up to 8, and then don't involve 2, 6 or 1, 7. So this is a 3, 5 pair. We know the order. Oh, this is just gorgeous. 2, 1, 1, 1, 2 by Sudoku. 3 by Sudoku using pencil marks. These two squares add up to 13 and they're not 4, 9 or 5, 8. So that's a 6, 7 pair. This square here is a 4 or an 8, I think. We don't seem to know which of those is correct. That's a 6 by Sudoku. So this is a 7, 8, 9 triple in box 3. So we get that digit for sure. That's 5, that's 7, that's 4. So that's 8, that's 4, that's 8. These two squares are 5 and 9. This is mad. Right, could this be a domino? Ah, look. Oh, here's a small point. We've got one grey cell to put into this box. Now, if both of these were green, we'd have that sequence running of green, and that would cut 2 boxes. So one of these is grey, which means both of these are green. Now that means our 15 cage is 3 digits. It doesn't have a 3 in it. It doesn't have a 1 in it. If we can get rid of 2, then we know it's 4, 5, 6. Can this be a 2? Oh, no, that means it is a 2. Yes, it can be, because it is. Alright, these add up to 13 then. That's much, much less useful. Ah, here we go, though. Now, if this was green, that would have to be a 1, 2, 4 triple, and it most certainly can't be. We've got 2 and 4 in the row. So that is the grey cell. This is the green cell. These two squares add up to 7, so that must be a 6. Okay, we've got 3 here, look. Yes, this must be shaded, because otherwise those 2 would have to be shaded, and that's going to pen in that green. So this is shaded, that's unshaded. We still don't know which of this 9 cage is shaded. But we've almost oh, look, I've got an 8, 9 pair there in my 17 cage, and we know one of those is a 9. So that's 9, that's 8. That's not 8 anymore. 2 here means the 2 and the 5 are resolved. 4, 6 and 8. So this, well, the 6 in row 8 has got to go there. The 4 has to go here. This has to be 8 now. We need 1, 2 and 5. So that's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 5. I can't believe how smooth this is. It's an absolutely breathtakingly brilliant puzzle. And I appreciate I might be slightly biased, because I love Heyawake puzzles so much, and it's like visiting an old friend doing this. But to make it this good is such, I mean, it's such a treat. Now 6 and 8 into this column, I think, and we need a 9 and we need a 4. Oh, really? Okay, well, we do need those digits, but I don't think they're resolved somehow or other. Okay, this is an 8 or a 9. In this column I need 7, 8 and 9. In fact, that's a 7. That's going to be the simpler way of doing that, isn't it? So that digit at the end of that row is a 4. Oh, can we get this now? Oh, that's lovely. That cell, yeah. Okay, if this was a 4, 9 pair, it would break this, and it can't be a 6, 7. So this is 5, 8, and we know the order. So 8 and 5 go in. That becomes 9. That becomes 8. This becomes 4. That becomes 9. Those two squares are somethings. 4s and 7s. 4, 7, 7, 9. That fixes them. Is that? Oh, hang on. Let's just stop there. Is it this that tells us the shading of that? It might well be. Yeah, there's nothing about the Heyawake that requires one or other of those to be shaded. So the only thing that determines the final solution to the puzzle is the position of the 9 in this cage, which is now resolved here. So that's the 9. It must count, so that turns green. That turns grey. I haven't worked out what digit it is yet. It's not 3. It's 5, I think. And that's not, yes, and it's the 3 that's counting. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I think that might be. That's beautiful. That is an absolutely beautiful puzzle. I love that rockratzero. It was like, you know, seeing a friend you've not seen for years. and you catch up and everything's exactly how it was before you sort of lost contact. Well, it just a real trip down memory lane that gave an awful lot of pleasure. Loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on with that. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the fact it was, you know, Heyawake is a funny logic problem, but it's really cool. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it even a little bit as much as I did. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.